Hello and welcome everybody to 1996. In 1996, Nick Faldo, do you remember that Masters where Nick Faldo beat Tiger Woods and Greg Norman? And it was a pretty awesome Masters if you're not familiar. Wilson of fame, Wilson has been a major golf manufacturer for decades at this point, and they're coming out with a titanium driver to compete with, let's think, the Callaways. The Callaway had these titanium Big Berthas, great Big Berthas. The biggest Big Berthas coming out in the late 90s. They also had Cobra titanium clubs. They had all sorts of interesting titanium. TaylorMade was coming out with titanium clubs. And so Wilson, to jump into this market, they thought, you know what the world needs more of? X-Files spaceships, and we're going to paint it this awesome rainbow metal flake with its super... Let's go have a closer look at this amazing UFO underneath the microscope. It's pretty easy to recognize from the sole. You can see the red and black oval here on top. Invex, engraved in titanium, along with the club. So this is the one wood. And the loft, 10.5 degrees. Titanium across here. Wilson, USA. I love this shape of kind of, I don't want to call it a sole plate, but the cutout right here that's not painted, I really like that. I like it how this actually protects the paint, so it's not scuffing up the paint on the sole. It's pretty well thought out, I think, the sole. Spinning around, this is kind of one of the things that gives it this shape, is there's a cutout right here, like a scoop on a sports car. I really like that. The hosel right here, just naked titanium. And look how pointed it is right here. I love this concave look right here. It's very much like, it screams to me SR-71 Blackbird. And as we spin around, you can see this lovely paint all the way to the toe. And then we get this at address. Love it. Again, the Invex logo right here, which is, you know, not too bad to look at, maybe a little bit loud. And I love this metal flake paint. It's just, it changes colors in the light. It's just super cool. There's a little step down right here, just like on the steel one. There's a little black mark right here. It actually physically steps down. And then we have the face right here with the cutout for the hosel, which just cracks me up. I love the shape of this face. It just makes me happy. And as we move up, let me just spin around, make sure we got everything here. On the hosel, you can see it's actually, there is a texture to it. Not sure if you're going to be able to hear that, but it is textured, and it says titanium along the back of the hosel. And then we have this, it's really soft. I'm not sure if this has been reshafted. It kind of feels like it has, but there's like an O-ring right here on this particular one. And as we move up here, this might be the reason why. There's this gold. It says Mizuno here on the shaft. Can you see the Mizuno here? So I don't think this is stock. I think this one has been reshafted. This is my own sticker to remind me. 1996 is when they first came out. There'll be a patent pending on the club head if it's 1996. So I think this is the 1997 one because it doesn't have that patent pending. And this looks like an aftermarket Cordy grip. Cubic balance is all it says. So that said, it looks like it is playable, so we might as well get it out on the range and see how it does. At the making of this video, we've seen the released footage from the Navy. Confirmed UFOs. It's just when people swing these vintage clubs, sometimes the head just goes. You know, I think it's these, right? That's what we're seeing in those videos. I had a lot of fun hitting this club. It looks like nothing else on the planet. Looking down at it, it's like looking at like a customized hot rod car with this cool paint job. To me, this is just a fun club. They don't make them like this anymore. In my opinion, that's just what I see, you know. To me, this is just super awesome. Does it capture the 90s? Just the other day, I was making lists with friends, and we were like, if we were gonna, so we had like a draft. Do you guys want to see stuff like that on camera? So I drafted what I think are like 90s clubs, and we each drafted. This didn't come up in that conversation. I don't want to spoil it. Maybe we'll make a video in the future. But to me, this might be up there. Because in the 90s, counterculture and pop culture were the same thing. No, we're against pop culture, like everybody else on the planet. So we're counterculture, like everybody else on the planet. And that's what this is. This is like, oh, you traditionally have this shape of traditionally they're, well, not today. We're going to make our own design. We're going to cut this out. We don't need that. We're going to make this sharp and pointy, like a SR-71 Blackbird. And we're going to paint it something that's loud and exciting. TaylorMade did that too with the bright copper colors that they used. But you could argue that that's more traditional because that looks very similar to a persimmon. So either way, it goes back and forth. So I like this because it embraces, look at this, look at me, I'm titanium. And it's just a cool shape and it's fun to hit. It's not impossible to hit. It's a functional club that looks like this. Could we play a Wilson's late 90s set? I'm just not sure how far up that is on my list. It's a really cool club, though. Let me know your thoughts about the titanium Invex titanium hot rod of a car. Hot rod of a titanium driver. I'm looking forward to reading your comments. If you want to support the channel, you can visit my Amazon shop. I'll put a link in the description below. I am an Amazon associate. I make proceeds from qualifying purchases. You can also support me on Patreon. We have great messages. We have great conversations on Patreon. People just message me back and forth personally, and I like to message them back. So Patreon, I'm accepting general support. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. I am the Vintage Golfer.